All right. I am so excited for you guys to be tuning in with us today. Empower You, Crown Up, where this is a place where we empower each and every individual to live their life, be inspired by prioritizing their mental health. And so today we have a special guest. His name is Mr. Cornell Williams, and we're just so excited to have him. So we're going to go ahead and bring him to the front stage. Hi, Cornell. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Hi, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so we're so
Yes,
excited to have you as a guest. We're just letting everybody know that we talk about empowering just everyone, mentally, just putting their mental health first and understanding the importance of knowing that if your mental health is not right, you cannot do anything. And it's just important to
that's
walk
true.
in alignment. So I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, I'm walking in alignment for this or that, but you have to walk in alignment with yourself first before you can be in alignment with anyone or anything else. So tell
No
us a little
doubt.
bit about you. What do you do and all that good stuff?
Currently, I haul explosive all over the United States as a hazmat driver. Um, I write books as an author. You know, I'm a dad, like stepdad. Um, that's me, and I try to keep my life simple. I have a lot of talents God blessed me with, like singing and stuff like that, but I haven't put my foot in that direction thus of yet. When I was younger, I was on tour with Mystical and those guys. So yeah, that's me
That's
in a nutshell.
cool.
I breed dogs. I travel delivering hazmat, and I write books. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes, and like you said, you're also a father, and that is something that is amazing because when it comes to motherhood, fatherhood, and steering our children in the right direction, I think a lot of times people forget. Like that's our purpose and our, is to steer the next generation in the
right.
right direction. And I feel
No
like
doubt.
that's why people are getting out of whack now because we're not focused on our youth.
That's true. That's true because they have to learn a lot of they. You know, we always hard headed as kids. A lot of stuff we hear it from our parents and it go in one ear out the other one ear, but at the same time we hear it. So yeah, us as adults have to give that to the kids so they can make those choices. Have that access to positive thinking, and yeah, you're right. A lot of
Mhm.
adults don't look back at the kids. They focused on themselves, and that's a part of mental health as well, because they're broken down to this shell, to this box of me. What am I going to do? And instead of just giving, you know, giving the knowledge with the
Yeah.
understanding that they've obtained, giving it to somebody else. Okay, I can't make 5 million today because I didn't make the proper steps as a young man. But if I know the steps, go and give those steps to this younger guy that can make that. So yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah.
That's so
But yeah.
true. Well, tell us, since we're talking about having a positive mindset, what is your favorite quote or favorite scripture that you have?
That's a good one. Um, thus far, because I've read a lot of books, um, Exodus 18:11, it says, quote me because I haven't read it in a while. I just remember it by heart, but it's basically um, saying, forgive us children who in um,
Mm.
fear and fear of death that was subject their whole life to bondage. I got a tattoo across my chest, Exodus 18:11, and that
Love that.
that's a real deep one to me because it reminds me of Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, all of those fallen soldiers before us that wasn't afraid and paved the way by not being afraid, even if it costed them something so vital as their lives. Even Martin Luther King, he don't know the effect that he had after his death. We can see it, but his courage to not fear it is what was the light infused to ignite these colleges, streets named after him, and
Mm.
even though a lot of us ain't living in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, a lot of us still know, So yeah, that's another whole another avenue, but that's my verse, the Exodus 18:11. You heard?
I love that. And you said something that was so, inspiring that a lot of times we don't realize the impact that we have on others until we are gone from this
No
earth.
doubt.
And I feel like
Yeah,
more and more people are starting to say, like, no, I want to be acknowledged while I'm here on earth.
no
Because
doubt,
it's
no
hard.
doubt.
When you're living
Yeah,
life and you think you're not making a difference, but you are.
but you are. Yeah, even the man. I've in my journey, I've learned each one teach one. And like I
Mm,
went to a school the other day, and it was a school for misled kids, like halfway type, where this kid can't operate in a regular functional school, so we're gonna put him in this school basically for bad kids type situation.
right.
And soon as I walked in, I was going to meet the principal to propose me being a motivational speaker from me being a guy that served nearly 20 years in prison from the
Mm,
age of 20 to 40 for a charge that didn't even exist.
mm,
But make a long story short, um, I count everything joy, so I'm not gonna look at that. So I'm
right.
here with this principle, and I'm like, hey, I could reach these guys because what they're trying to be, I just lived it, and I have a story to go along with it. And one
That's
little
right.
boy, he like 13 years old. He jump up, he say, "Who this clown here is?" All the other kids start laughing, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I just stepped into a lion's den." I understood that mentality, so I just smiled, right? But
Right.
yeah, that just showed me that the fight is there. You
Hmm.
know,
And you know how many people would have ran from that. And also, when you look at that, telling that story, just that snippet of what you just shared, you know how many people look at us and think they know our whole life story, and they have
Mm,
no clue, have no idea.
no clue, no clue.
And that's why
Like,
you're qualified for the job, like to
yeah,
motivate them, because you've been there, you've done that, and they're gonna listen
yeah.
to you.
I've been there on the multi-million dollar side where um singing really was my way of accumulating wealth. I can write poetry and songs really good. I'm like a neo that's not been put on the forefront. I swear to God.
Wow.
Uh, so when I got from incarceration, one of my friends was married to a girl that had connection to Andre 3000, the Dungeon family, right? So
Okay.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how mental health plays a part in everything we do. So we take the trip to Atlanta. We record in this guy named Glover, Carl Glovers. He's an
Okay.
engineer. He engineered TLC's Waterfall album. Whitney Houston, he got plaques on the wall, Grammys. This guy was good. So he hear me and my song. He like, oh, this a hit. He jump up, he's screaming. Now the girl, mind you, I brought her with me. On the way there, she like, Offspring, I'm gonna sing the hook for you free of charge. So I'm like, cool, cause
Okay.
I could have did the song myself, but I wanted a female on my hook, and
Right.
she could blow. After the song is completed and this guy is going crazy, I never seen the CD or the masters again. He gave it to her, and I never seen it again. So the Most High told me then, say, hey, this is your first test about knowing yourself. So knowing me, dang, I feel like you just took from me. I know now I'm on some street stuff with you. So I fell back from the music thing altogether
Hmm.
and said, you know what, Most High, I hear you. I'm gonna take a different route, you know. And the different route has led me to so much peace and happiness
Mm.
versus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all about making decisions in your mental before putting action to them. Like on my arm right here. I don't know if you can see this, but you got
Yes.
cuts. These cuts come from me being in a mental institution in 2001,
Mm.
23 years ago. It was all a part of me fighting a case that I had. So everybody like, go crazy. And I got in there and realized people had real mental issues, right?
Mm. Yes.
So I made them kick me out. I'm like, hey, I showed my true face. I was my Will Smith, my Danny Glover gloves on and sitting there. I'm tripping. And the people like, what's wrong with him? But I started studying that that really does exist with mothers, young girls having babies at 13, 12, 14 years old. They're mentally breaking down and we
Mm.
can't see it. So yeah, but
Man,
I've
that's
learned
a
a lot.
whole nother conversation. We're gonna have to bring you back for when we get into our relationship series because that's a whole thing. Because I hear so many women say that they feel like men they just don't see. And that's where the breakdown
Yeah,
comes for a lot of women. It's like they have to go to work, they come in, they're immediately taking care of the kids, and they never get a minute to themselves. And it's just hard.
that's real.
It's
It
hard.
is. It's hard, man, and your mental can take a lot, but if you're not equipped with knowing what's going on in your head,
Mm,
you would self-destruct basically, because I did this here, there, and the pain from that cut on my arm, it triggered. Well, I went into a deep depression, and I actually was seeing doctors that felt like medicine and stuff like that. So I was refusing to take the medicine. I'm like, nah, I ain't taking no medicine. They like you need some help. So that's when I realized that my help came from me fighting myself,
mm.
learning what's going on in my head. You know what I mean? and, and,
Yes.
and mastering it. You know, I really did because I was inside of a 8 by 10 room, 15 years straight.
Wow.
Can't come out, no sunlight,
Mm.
nothing. Yeah, and I worked out every day. Every day I had a routine to keep my mind healthy and keep myself from going into a deep dark depression. You know
Wow.
what I mean? I might pick up a letter. Your auntie just passed, and I'm in this room by myself. I got to deal with this. The
Right.
here come the thoughts of how my auntie last looked when I seen her,
Right.
or what did she feel? Yeah, so mental health is very, very important to attack and challenge and learn. You know what I mean?
Yes, and you said
Yeah.
something about having a routine, and you made me think about COVID. How I think that was the first high rise of people realizing,
Oh
like,
yeah.
I need to take care of my mental health. But hearing you say 15 years, like 50,
Yeah.
like we were with COVID, let's say people was locked down for what, a year, not even really that
Yeah,
long,
1 or 2
but
years.
yeah.
Yeah, it's about 1 or 2 years, and
Hmm.
that disconnect from your normal thinking had everybody like, man, this need to stop. I want to go to the store. They was wilding. So those emotions, I've actually had to deal with those emotions over a decade of not knowing if I'm gonna come out of that cell alive. How
Hmm.
how life is passing. My niece is this tall, then they this tall on the pictures. Yeah, it was very challenging. But look at me now. You
That's
know,
right.
look at
And
me
you
now.
said something that's important. You said when someone took your song, and I mean, the flesh side of you is like, I'm ready to fight, like,
No doubt, no doubt,
but
no doubt.
when you experience life and you go through different life challenges, and when you hear
Hmm.
God clearly say, no, I have a better path for you that comes with peace, joy, and happiness. Like looking at that other
Yeah,
path, you might not still be alive, but this
yeah,
path, like, man, God is like so amazing. And just knowing that you were able to
yeah,
hear from Him. But how many times
yeah,
do we fight that? We're like, no, no,
yeah.
no, I'm so close. Like, I
you
mean,
know.
you done met some big people, you know?
And those what you speaking on is so deep and real because those is the voices you're gonna hear, the two different voices, one on your shoulder saying take this left, the other saying take the right. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And right there in that split second is where mental health is totally taking over your soul, your whole being. You
Right.
have to you have to know uh, which voice is
To
the
listen.
voice of reasoning. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like I had another situation where it's like the biggest guy right now in the world, um, clout wise, not money wise, but famous. Everybody love him. Um, I
Mm.
even love him. Me and him was like this. We actually wrote our books at the same time,
Wow.
incarcerated, and I was in a mental health situation where just had got free. I was
Mm.
probably three weeks from being free, and pro- proposition of sending something to him that's illegal while he was there or flushing it, you
Mm.
know. And I lost a friend by choosing, you know, the beneficial route.
Right.
Um, but at the end of the day, we both have grown, from that decision. You know what I
That's
mean? So
right.
yeah,
And that's why you're
but
going
yeah,
to touch so many lives because these young men, they're going to learn so much from you because they like, first of all, you ain't somebody that ain't been through nothing. Like you are
right.
somebody.
I ain't just talking. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
giving it to you like the IS is. Um,
Yes.
they knew me very well all throughout Florida. I think I went through like 17 different institutions, and I
Mm,
held my own. Um, the guards didn't bother me. The prisoners didn't bother me because when I first got there, I still was fighting myself in front of everybody. So I had to end up fighting the guards and fighting the inmates for people to
mm,
back away from me. And
mm.
then, by the time they did, Most High already done showed me, hey, let me go over here, separate yourself. If you want to change, separate yourself. And
Right.
that's what I did. And man, I'm telling you, the journey of knowing thyself is one of the biggest challenges and fights anybody want to ever have. You can't consider nobody racist. You can't consider nobody a hater. You can't do nothing but look at yourself in the mirror
That's
and say,
right.
what does Brittany want to accomplish today? You know.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that's funny because my dad, he always has this thing where he says, when you point a finger, how many fingers are pointing back at you?
No
And
doubt about that.
the older generation, and that's what I feel this younger generation is missing out on, is because the older generation they say some things and you be like, what?
Yeah.
But
And
it is
it'll go
true.
over your head sometime. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're right. And it just made me realize, like, before you start pointing fingers, what was your part? Like, what did you do? And I feel like that's what's
Yeah.
missing with this generation is being able to think for themselves.
Accountability.
Account
Yes, ma'am.
definitely, okay? Being accountable for your part instead of, crying wolf all the time. And so I just think it's
Right.
important for them to be able to learn and understand, like, if you know who you are, you're not going to fall for anything. And so
Right.
I
And
love
then
Psalms 139. Oh, what were you saying?
I was saying then that depression and loneliness it would flee from you.
That's right.
From if they do what you just said, it'll
Yes,
flee.
you're right.
Yeah.
And that brings me to I love Psalm 139, verse 14 that says, I am fearfully and wonderfully made whole. Because if you know who you are and whose you are, no one can take that away from you and you won't fall for anything. And so I see so many
No
people
doubt.
just following other people.
Right.
And it's like, what do you want? And so the fact that you keep talking about how God was like, separate yourself, because that's where God can really talk to you and you can really have a clear path of what is right for Cornell, not what's right for everybody and their mama.
Not right for
Right?
everybody, right? Because most people they gonna gravitate to your positive energy because you can't see it. That's just like I might tell you, golly, man, you got some pretty white teeth. But then when you look at yourself, you like they don't look that pretty and white to me.
Hmm.
But it's just starting with yourself, and most everybody else will gravitate toward that energy. So yeah, everything begins with us.
Hmm.
That's that's why when you speak mental health, the key ingredients is making, because you do have some individuals that's lacking brain waves, or you know um basically what I'm trying to say is not quite on the level of understanding as others.
Yeah, everybody's
So
on different levels. That's right.
yeah, so with those individuals, the key to bringing them that peace and happiness and understanding and and love is um helping them recognize who they are. You
Yes.
see what I'm saying? And once you do that, you can let them. You can, like a bird, just push the bird out the nest. You can let them fly in, because once they recognize who they are, then they're gonna start molding themselves and flying. So yeah,
That's true.
that's
And as a
yeah,
mental health therapist, I tell a lot of my clients, like, it starts with you, getting your mind right. It starts with you because if you don't know what you want or what you desire, no one else, you can't expect other people to know what you want or to
mm,
treat you with, a certain level of respect if you don't even respect
that
yourself. And it
that's
starts with
true.
you. And so
Yeah,
that's why I'm really big on starting with your mindset. But I also notice a lot of these training programs, that's their first thing. It don't matter what they're teaching you, whether it's the, get a workout program started or
hmm
something, they start with making sure your mindset is right. Because if your mindset ain't right, you can't do the coaching programs. You can't do anything that they're
yeah,
getting you ready for.
yeah. You'll feel like it's overwhelming, like it's too much.
That's true.
And
That's true.
like Lena, for example, Lena Webb.
Yes.
Um, she inspires, because some days, like, I be like, dang, I can't go to the gym today, man, because I got A, B, and C I'm trying to do. But then instantly I think about what all the things that in that one day of hers, and I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and just at least go try. You know what I'm
But
saying?
it's about being intentional and also knowing your
Yeah,
body as far as, okay, because like I tell people and my clients, sometimes if you're a morning person, or not sometimes, you know yourself. If you're a morning person, then you know you need to get up and get moving, do everything in the morning time. Some
yeah,
people, they're night
yeah,
owls. So, okay, that's your time.
yeah,
You need to work out. But know
yeah. So
yourself.
know that you got to know that about yourself also. Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
high points? Whether it's morning, evening, or night. So yeah, that's deep point as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, question for you is, in your childhood, when you look back at your life, do you feel like you could have ever imagined being where you are, like today? Like, did you ever imagine that you would be
Mm,
where you are and
no,
have experienced the things that you
no,
experienced?
no, not as a child, because uh, children. Well, me as a child, I seen things in just one way. I couldn't see adulthood or none of that. I see being a child as the best thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Even though me and my
You
sisters
don't
and
have to worry
brothers,
about no bills, what you gonna eat
yeah,
next.
yeah, yeah. So you know, I, I think once you reach the teens, you be desiring to be older. And once you
Mhm.
reach 35, you wanna, hey, I wanna go back a little bit, about 20 again. But I could never see myself inspiring people by my story. Um, But
Here
it's
you
so
are.
many people that, yeah, yeah, so many
Yeah.
people have the same story. Like I was talking to a guy, he lived in Chicago and I'm in Florida, and our stories was pretty much the same. Just
Wow.
different
It's
environment.
amazing how God brings people together. Like, it's
Yes,
amazing.
ma'am.
So, what words of empowerment would you like to leave for, someone that might be battling their mental health or who's really struggling with looking at what everybody else is doing, but knowing that they're being pulled in a different direction, but they're scared because they know people be talking, right? They be like, "Hey, why you
Right.
want to do that for? That don't even make sense." But they know deep
Mm.
down inside, like, God is really calling them down a different path. what words of empowerment would
Mm,
you give to that person?
mm. That's a good question. I would actually say, because I'm thinking about it as you speaking. Um, Encourage yourself. Don't look for encouragement
Mm,
um, outside of yourself. Encourage yourself. Take it slow. Be patient and save. That's
I
that's
love
that's
that.
that's the words of encouragement. Save financially. Encourage yourself and be patient with all things.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm glad
ma'am.
you just said that because a lot of times people want to have that success overnight. But the reality of it is, it can be here one day and down the next. So I'd rather take my
Yeah.
time and build it and have a solid foundation with people around me that I know are meant to be
Yeah.
in my.
Longevity.
Yes.
Longevity is the way these days. Like, I had to learn that. I moved fast as a young man. That's how I ended up in the situations I ended up in. But I had to learn that, you know, slow and easy, you can't go wrong, because
That's
now
right.
you can hear the positive, you can hear the negative, and you can hear your own perspective of every situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, yes, ma'am.
I love
And I
it.
do got a lot of stories. I got some stories for you, like overcoming a lot of stuff. But that'll be next segment, like you said.
Yes, overcoming. Yes, so yeah, we will definitely be seeing more of Cornell on our show. Definitely.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
tell us, how can our audience connect with you? You know, they might want to book you for motivational speaking or get your book. Just how can they connect with you?
Okay, so as of today, they do have me on TikTok. If you want to send a message through there, Sleeping Giant 3 on
Okay.
TikTok, and then it's Cornell Author Offspring on Facebook.
Okay.
And then you could also, if you want to get some of my work, because I'm working on a lot of stuff, and like January, my book will be in Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million. So you could go to Team Litcom underscore Author Offspring for that. If you want to
Yeah.
support with that, it's a very good read. Inspirational. Yes, ma'am.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And can you repeat your book website again so people can make sure they go there to get your book?
Yes, ma'am. It's Teen Litcon underscore Author Offspring.
Love it. Okay. Well, we're so excited, Cornell, to have you as a guest talking about mental health and just really pushing through and choosing the
Yeah.
right path. We're just really again grateful to have you and we look forward to having you on future seasons and
All
episodes.
right. All right, Brittany.
All right, Cornell, you have a great day.
You too, ma'am.